tea, good biscuit. So, okay. So now there is, now once we, yeah,
You took out the microphone.
oh, put here maybe.
Yeah.
I have too many layers. Okay, so now, now that the establishment, conventional view establishment, I think sort of in some ways we did this morning. I mean the session before this. Then now second establishment is establishing why the path of the bodhicitta or the bodhisattva is important. So now talk a little bit about samsara, suffering, all of that. Yeah. Now that we are integrated with ourselves, then we look at our life. Life, I think, generally people are seeking what we say. We seek constant. What do we say? Constant achieving, constant a higher state of what is a higher state of satisfaction in life. Yeah. So when the mind is always constantly trying to perceive a higher state of satisfaction, then that higher state of satisfaction is integrated to our understanding. And that integration of higher state of satisfaction with our own life now consists of many different parts. And this is why we work very hard in our life, because one thing is not enough. So many states that we need to be in, yeah? Whether it be the state of having a family, whether it be the state of having awareness, whether it be the state of our mind, whether it's the state of our satisfaction level, or whether it's just creation. And then also has to do with our own greed, state of our own greed, state of what we want in life, what we need, yeah, a state of desire, attachment, so on and so forth. These are things that we build upon one upon another and one upon another over. So through that practice, then the state is constantly built. In some sense, whether our awareness is there or not, there is a little bit of a challenge in regards to our perception of things, no? And this is where all of these other things come into play. When the challenge of perception, then we have a way of seeing things, and when we have a way of seeing things, then we tend to, what we say, create the path based on what we are aware of. And this is, I think, a very so this is, I think, a state of being itself, no? The bodhisattva path is about going beyond that state of understanding. Yeah. So the bodhisattva practice, in the Sanskrit word, in the state of practice, comes from the Mahayana practice. Maha means great. Yeah, this is the word we use, Maha. So now, first question I like to present here in regards to your practice is, what is Maha about you, about your life, about your concepts, about your view, about your perspective, about your applications of the practice that you are supposed to be doing or want to do. If you want to go onto the bodhisattva path, then how is it Maha? How is it great? How do you make it great? What is so great about it? Yeah? So within the definition of the bodhicitta, yeah, semge we say shenten de zobe changse lami shi chok dumba dang chungden gyube tekje lamge jugo gyuwa. Yeah, that in that whole definition, the first word that comes out, shenten. Shen is others, ten is for the sake. So when you're trying to understand bodhicitta, it's not about your liberation, it's not about all of this, it's about others. The first word in the definition is others, shentendu, for the sake of others. So now you need a very convincing reason to why for the sake of others, no? Yeah? Even for ourselves, we need a convincing reason why. Yeah, today you do this, you do that. Every daily function we do, we need a convincing reason why. Even sleeping in the morning, you sleep until 10, you need a convincing reason why. Unless you're very, very procrastinated and very lazy, that's a whole different concept. But if you're doing something intentionally, yeah, anything you're doing intentionally, there has to be a reason why. Unless something is unintentional, then maybe that is where we get a little bit sidetracked in regards to awareness. But when intention is there, then there has to be a very valid reason to why. So this is why establishing what we established this morning is important. Yeah, this is the reason why. Now once you establish yourself, we say, okay, yeah, we try to develop the concept of looking at your mind like your own child and building yourself through that method, through that kindness, through that love, through that appreciation, through that care, through all of the necessary ingredients, yeah, to grow, to nurture the mind, to grow the mind. And this growing and nurturing is not just for no reason, like just but there's a potential in it. The potential of human nature, yeah, freedom. I think this is where the potential comes from, by understanding the freedom. When you understand your freedom, that's when potential really grows, no? If you have 10 things to worry about today, then you're not going to think about tomorrow. If you don't have food to eat today, then you're going to go searching for food to eat today. This is human nature, no? So living day by day is different from living in the future. Living in the past, again, different from living in the future. Most of us, we are either stuck on a day-to-day life or in the past. This is the two things that we have, that the whole world has a problem with. Past is based on better judgment. Yeah, what kind of logic you use, what kind of reasoning you use, what the conditions were, what the experiences were. These are what has built the past. Then what you receive from there, that is wisdom. That's what I think. One of the only things that you can carry forward from the past is wisdom. But instead of carrying the wisdom, we are carrying memories, we are carrying regret, we are carrying anxiety, fear, attachment, this, that, we are carrying all of this. Not to carry from the past, no. Main thing to carry from the past, wisdom. And the reason why wisdom is the only thing that you should choose to carry from the past is because it is useful in the implementation of the future. Yeah, the rest of the things that we carry from the past only blocks our future. Not much use. So, experiences, I always say experiences, there are two parts of looking at experiences. One is looking at experiences as experience and then converting it into wisdom. Then other part of experience is taking it as experience and converting into emotion. These are the two things we can do. Now, if you take experience and convert it into emotion, then your whole mind is starting to get blocked by those emotions, no? Over and over again. You carry the past and then transform it into wisdom, then it's about utilizing. It's not about carrying. You climb the mountains, you carry a bag. But you don't use anything in the bag, then you're just carrying a heavy bag up the mountain. No use, no. But if you are carrying with the intention of utilizing, then you carry what is necessary. You don't carry everything. Yeah? So this is a huge difference. Same concept, I think. So moving forward, transforming into wisdom. Then when we say transforming into wisdom, the whole concept of wisdom is utilization. Yeah? So second part now coming into practice, then now you have the experience, you have the understanding of the self, the I. Yeah, you have the understanding of the experience, you have the understanding of the past, you have the understanding of your mind, and then you have the understanding of what is necessary in order to balance the mind that you have. We say children, all kinds of different children we have. Some children, they're very calm. You tell them once, they listen. Some children, they're not very calm. You need to tell them 10 times before they listen. Some children, you need to be a little bit more harsh. Yeah? And then they start to function. Some children, they function through kindness. When you're harsh, then they completely, what do we say? What is the word? Resist. Yeah. But then when you're a little bit kind, when you talk with soft voice, then they listen. So children, you're going to have all kinds of different children. This is the same concept. You're learning to tame the methods in order to tame. So this is the concept of the balance, the middle way, we call it umelam. Umelam is all about the balance. Yeah, in umelam we talk about the two extremes. One is the nihilism, one is the, what is the internalism? Yeah, they call it internalism. Tangi, Chita and Takta. Takpetha is labeling, over labeling things. Then Chita is nihilism, nothing exists. So instead of going to the two extremes, there's always a balance. You look at life itself, it's all about the balance. One thing is a little bit not enough, then finish. Our own existence, you look the world, scientifically now we talk about scientific facts. Few 100 kilometers nearer to the sun, the planet does not exist. Few kilometers closer to the moon, gravity will be all over the place. Few what do we say? Further from the sun, what happens? So the balance is what makes existence itself happen right now, right? Same thing with the tree, same thing with the flower, same thing with everything. It's the balance that keeps everything running, everything flowing. The nature of water, flow downhill. You don't have a downhill, then the water kills you. Kilba means then stuck in one place. So in order to move, you need the nature of the flow. The nature of the flow is the balance. This is what we need in our life now. Balance is what is important. So through understanding that, then the application, of course, application of understanding these things, these are all wisdoms, right? Then we start to integrate our existence into the possibility of how our existence comes into place. This is where karma, cause and condition, continuity, existence, all of this comes. A lot of people are asking about next life, future life, past life. How is that proven? It's not a belief. So another thing I say, little bit different in the principles, principal teachings of the Buddha. A little bit of a difference is that, I don't know, a lot of traditional people might think that I'm against tradition and all of that, but I always think faith at the beginning little bit useful at the beginning, and just starting, then a little bit of faith necessary, because contemplation takes time. So to reach that contemplation part, little bit of faith is necessary. Once the contemplation is starting, then you can kick faith out of the door. Yeah, you don't get enlightened out of faith. If you can get enlightened out of faith, then what is everything else necessary? Why is the Four Noble Truths necessary? Why three principal aspects necessary? Why the middle way necessary? None of those are necessary. You do faith, good enough. Simple. But in the Buddhist practice, it's not about faith. It's about sense. It's about logic. It's about reasoning. And through that, it's about understanding. And through the understanding, it's about applying. So this is why I say, faith cannot take you so far in regards to practice in the Dharma. But I'm coming very specifically from a philosophical background, so this is maybe why I'm sharing this with you. And definitely within the scriptures of the path, then there are certain aspects of development through faith as well. And I'm not going to deny that. But then ultimately enlightenment doesn't happen through faith. Now, this is very clear. It happens based on the reliance of yourself in utilizing your own ability to achieve enlightenment. The Buddha himself says, "Tuna dunga chui midoshi doye dunga chagi masala nyege tokwa shenla po mit chungi demba thoayu. Tuna dunga chui mido. If I could wash your, what do we say, negative and sins like this, like I'm washing clothes with water, then I would have tuna dunga chui midoshi. Doye dunga chagi misela. If I had the ability to, what do we say, liberate you from suffering just with my hand like this, then I would have doye dunga chagi misela. Our suffering cannot be, what do we say, cleared, escaped by, by my hand. My knowledge cannot be transformed or transferred into your mind like this. If it could, then I would have. I always say, Buddha could, Buddha would. Buddha could, Buddha would. The greatest practitioner of bodhicitta, through bodhicitta achieving enlightenment, through bodhicitta achieving unlimited knowledge in regards to liberating the mind from the existence of cyclic existence of samsara. And now comes the final line. Chungi demba thoayu. Liberation happens by the method that I can help you is to get liberated. Demba means by showing you the truths. So you realize the truth, then you get liberated. You're stuck in, what is the opposite of truth? Untruth. Yeah, you're stuck in the untruth of things. Then that's where we are stuck in. No? We tend to see everything truth. Oh, this is true, that is true. So, the method to true liberation is by understanding the truths. Then logically, I always say logically, no matter how much you try to go against the concept of truth, you cannot. Yeah, this is what we tend to do. We tend to make everything permanent. I buy a phone. Oh yeah, I paid $2,000, $3,000. Oh, big, good, nice phone. True, yeah, it's going to last forever. We try to make that. Nowadays, developing plastic blood cells, because they say our blood cell dying off. So this is why we are, what do we say, degrading from time to time. We are so stuck with the concept of permanence. We like to make everything permanent. My house, I like permanent. My car, we think permanent. That permanent, this permanent. This is totally against the reality, the nature of reality, which is impermanence. This is why establishing the concept of impermanence is so strong. Oh, tomorrow I do this, next year I'll do this, next do that, and after 30 years I'm going to do that, after 60-year retirement, yeah. Then the other truth, what do we say? Death is certain and its time is uncertain. I know people who survived cancer, and what do we say? Their family, they think going to die, but then instead of them dying, then the family died before before the patient. I mean the person who has cancer. Then some kids, even before they get to see the world, they die. Then some people so old, they're praying for death to come. Yeah, you go to Solukhumbu, met some people, very old, hard situation, hard condition, but very, very strong, very, very, active. But then nothing to do. Sick of life, living. When am I going to die? When am I going to die? When am I going to die? Nothing to look forward to. They all their kids and their family all gone. They're left alone in the village up there. The kids gone to earn money in the other countries. Then small house, old, black, conditions are not good. So death has a whole different way of triggering us in so many different ways. That's why I always say, the more you remember death, the better the practitioner you become. That's one of the reasons why the older you get, the better practitioner you can become also. Yeah. You go to a child, maybe 6, 7 years old, and tell him to practice. No. Yeah, gaming, that, this, yeah, party, oh, you teenager, go party, that. Then you get closer, then awareness starts to arise more. Mind starts to contemplate more on life, on the situations. Then after you have your share of experiences and that and this, then you understand, oh, always up and down and get a little bit fed up of all of this. Then, oh, now practice becomes important. Yeah, that time when someone says, oh, you look, you very, forget it. Yeah, patience becomes more better. So integration of practice becomes much more strong when it comes to realizing the truth. So this is why Chungi Dempa Dempa Dwayu. Liberation comes from understanding the truth. Yeah. So therefore, so that is one concept of the truth. Now, second concept of the truth is based on the Four Noble Truths, of course, the truth of suffering, cessation, path, and liberation. These are again the concept of cause and conditioning. These are all cause and logic, very logic. It's not something that you need to have belief in or faith in or something like that. No. You look at our own, this is why this morning in the first step, we're always talking about your experience, your ability, your what is important to you. Yeah, we're talking about that. This is because the establishment of the Four Noble Truths comes from there. If Buddha never saw the, what is the four signs? Yeah, old, sickness, death. What is one? Aging, and then liberation, the monk. If Buddha never saw this, then the awareness is not there. If the awareness is not there, the question is not there. This is reality that he saw, no? And this reality his father tried to change. The story is that his father, when his mother had the dream of the elephant, the white elephant with the 6 tusks. Well, some say 6 tusks, some say, I don't know, whatever the full story is. but entering the womb. Anyway, then after mother saw this story, then the father went to the astrologer. And the astrologer, what do you call it? Astrologer. Yeah, then the astrologer say, oh, there's 2 things, 2 ways that your son can go. You're going to have a son. If he becomes a king, then he's going to conquer the world. The whole world you're going to be able to conquer. But if he doesn't decide to be a king, then he's going to become a wandering saint. So the king said, oh, no. I don't want a wandering saint in my family. I want a king who can conquer the world. Yeah. So he tried his best for him to not have these questions. So he banned old, aging, and sick people from the kingdom. He banned all death. Death possessions. I don't know. All of that. Then he banned all saints. So when you start, this is like our mind. I think this is like our mind. We constantly influencing our mind not to see these things. And even when we see, we're influencing our mind not to be aware of these things. Because we see, you walk on the road, you see people without legs, without arms, sickness there, this. Then you go in Nepal, I don't know if it happens in the West, but in Nepal, when someone dies, the whole road is full of people carrying, banners and stuff like that with the dead body, like that. But then when you see, your mind completely ignores. There's no awareness. Yes, that person, but then there's no awareness that this is one of the truth that even you need to face. Then when someone near us, you can see sickness and death, and that's when it starts to hurt a little bit. And I say, of course, a lot, but then compared to true realization, just like a spark, small spark of feeling that comes up. So the realization of the truth in regards to in the same level of as our awareness is completely 2 completely separate chapters. We are fully engrossed in the concept of permanence. Then only when the truth hits, then it damages us emotionally. Yeah, emotional damage is where the truth hits. Yeah, you start to see things that you normally not aware of, and your mind is not conditioned to see. Then there's emotional damage here and there. Then when you cannot handle those emotional damage, then you start to go into mental afflictions. So before you come to face with a situation like this, and you feel, what do you say? You feel, what is the word? You can't do anything. What do you say?
You can do or you can do.
Paralyzed. Yeah, you feel paralyzed. So before coming to face with the truth, and you feeling paralyzed and going into mental breakdown, you need to understand your ability in order to face these things. So when something happens, then you are able to face, no? And this is very sensible, I think, right? This is what we do with life. This is why you go to college. This is why you go to university. That's why you study. Why do you study? So that when you grow up and you need to make money, then you have the ability to make the money, right? Yeah. Four Noble Truths. We are always applying, I think we are always applying the Four Noble Truths in our life. It's just that we are not aware of the application. So this same thing in facing the truth is building your ability to understand the truth, so that when you actually feel the presence right in front of us, then we also know, oh, I don't have to feel so helpless. I have the strength, I have the motivation, I have the, the paramitas with me that I can utilize in order to make a difference, in order to change. At some point in life, the truth of samsara is going to hit. And this is the harsh part. Yeah. Maybe you have a good life here, there, this, you good family, okay, money is okay, I like to travel, but at one point, there will come a condition where, you're in samsara. That is the moment you need to be ready. Even your whole life, you had a good life. At the time of death, you have to face death. What are you going to say to death? No, wait, few more years. No, wait. Please, I still have some things to do. Then at that time, then you let your desires and your attachment and your whole, the whole life that you have built over the destructive emotions, you try to use that, and that becomes useless. So now you start to see the reflection of things, how conditioning works. Not as we expected, as we say. So utilization of that, understanding that, is understanding samsara itself. Then converting those understandings into implementation is now you are starting to grow, generating the state of Bodhisattva, of the Maha part, of the Shendentu, what do we say, for the sake of others. And now you are integrating these things. But then like I said, you need to have a good reason to integrate that, right? If you don't see, like I say, if you don't suffer, then no sense of, no understanding of suffering. And when you have no understanding of suffering, you cannot, what we say, feel others, the suffering of others. And when you don't feel the suffering of others, then you have no intention. So through realizing your own suffering, that should be the encouragement. This situation happened quite frequently last time in Nepal when there was load sheddings. In Singapore, I think once upon a time, they had a few, I don't know if it was a few hours or a few minutes of light problem. Whole country went into chaos. So dependent. At that time, Nepal, every day 8 hours, you remember? No light. So now you experience no light. Then when someone comes and makes light possible, then the whole nation is so, what do you say, appreciative. The appreciation starts to grow. Oh yeah, now we have this minister who provided this light. Oh yeah, he's so great and he's so amazing and he's so that and he's so so I think the same concept happens here now. When you experience it, then appreciation starts to happen. And when you know appreciation, your own appreciation, then you start to see the appreciation of others as well. Because that's where Dakshin Nyamche happens, the exchanging oneself with others. Because now, then one thing is, once you build your own consistent perception in regards to samsara and suffering and the truth, then it's only about growing that circle. And the growing circle happens slowly. In Buddhism, I know we pray may all mother sentient beings, this, and may all mother sentient beings that. To start with something like that is not easy. Yeah. Even the concept itself, think about it. Yeah, your inclusion and exclusion, the list of inclusion and exclusion is so high. Then you say, oh, if he is genuine and sincere and unconditional, yes, then. But if he is naughty and he does that, and if she is naughty and she does this and that and the yeah, if they're killers, if they're murderers, if they are doing that, then now you start looking at your list of inclusion and exclusion. It's all over the place. And this inclusion and exclusion has everything to do with our own understanding of things, destructive emotions, as we say. We don't look at the common link between all of us. We are alive, we are living, we are in samsara, we are suffering, we are constantly going over and over and over the cyclic existence, the wheel of life, we say. Birth, old age, sickness, death, birth, constantly. What do you call this? Nowadays they have this small guinea pig. What do you say? Hamster wheel. There you go, hamster wheel. For you, enjoyment first. At one point, it gets tired. Then it gets thrown like this, tumbling inside the wheel like this. So there's fun in it. In samsara, in some levels, you can go here, you can see new places. This is fun in it. But then at one point there comes, like I said, when you still see the reality of things, that changes our perspective of what we are, facing, what we are. Not just facing, but where our ability and inability is when it comes to regarding to facing those things. No, that's the challenge. So now when you understand that, then you start to extend the circle. Yeah. First is, of course, your most precious people, your near ones, your kids. The same thing with money as well, I think. Yeah. When you want to help with money, then first is, oh yeah, my son, I want to invest for my son. I want to, education fund, that, this. Then mother, father, oh, yeah, they had their own life, and I'm sure they had their own savings and everything, so I don't care about them. Then after that comes, oh, the ones that actually care for you, the ones who are there when you needed them. Then comes the ones that give you the time of your life, fun and all of that. And the ones who give you joy. Then slowly, the ones who are in the middle, sometime when you have nothing to do and then you have no one to go around, then sometimes you call them, hey, where are you? There are people like that. But then you start extending that circle. At one point you get stuck, it gets hard. So when it gets hard to expand that circle, what do? Now you utilize your experience, all of the experience that we talked about this morning, and then bring it in. That's Dakshinyamje. Whether he's an enemy, whether he's a dog, whether he's a cat, whether he's a god, he needs to face death. I think some points the god realm is quite amazing because they live very, very, very long. And even not just that, not just living long, they have immense powers. And this is spoken all through different mythologies. And in the Greek mythology, they have thunderbolt powers and that and this. Yeah. In the Hindu mythology, amazing powers in regards to fire, earth, elements. If you read the Mahabharata, you start to see, these gods, they're really amazing. But then same thing, same as the only difference is they live long and they have so much abilities. Other than that, utilization of the abilities, same thing with emotions. Oh, this god took this god's wife, this god took this god's husband, then this god tried to harm that, then this god chased this one other one down, then samsara all over again. Yeah, you read the Mahabharata, you'll see that. Then these gods went there to take revenge, these gods tried to, same thing. Then I think even in the Greek mythology you see the same thing. Also in the Christian mythology, I think same. Not so much difference in there. So emotions inside functioning in the same level. So you have so much capability, but you are unable to utilize that capability. Then what? Then what's the point? Yeah. Now a lot of people say, oh yeah, you have people in power, great, what do we say? Leaders of nations, they call. So if they want to do, they can do so much. But then instead of doing, they do something completely different. Then what does the nation say? He has so much power, but he doesn't know how to utilize it, utilizing in the wrong way. So we are doing same. Now you compare, we are doing the same. We have a precious human rebirth. We have the mind and the ability and the knowledge and everything coming together. How are we utilizing it? So that utilization is where now we learn to expand our, what do we say, circle. And this is, I think, the start. The first initial start of bodhicitta is there in expanding that circle. It's not understanding. It's not understanding that you need to liberate all sentient beings. No, 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 no. That's just the beginning. It's not understanding that the truths exist. No, no, no. That's also just the beginning. True bodhicitta practice starts when you start expanding that circle of inclusion. Now there you are becoming a true practitioner of bodhicitta. So through that method, then inclusion, what time's lunch?
1:30. I'll let you know.
Yeah. So through that method, then we learn to expand our circle, and then the inclusion part comes in. Once the inclusion part starts to grow, then we start to see similarities. One big thing in the world is we focus only on differences, no? Different color, different race, different people, different country, different that, different this, everything different, 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 different. Different nose, different eye, different lips, different that, different work. And that's where all the, the, what do we say, the mind starting to make, what do we say, all this adverse, what do we say, contribution to our understanding happens. Yeah. So synchronizing the core line between the nature of things in reality, this understanding how will help you expand your circle much more. And understanding suffering and samsara is one of them. We're all in samsara. We're all suffering. Yeah, birth, old age, sickness, death, everywhere there. Sometimes we feel, when I feel sick, then I'm, why me? Why me? Why only me? But you open your lens, you open your eyes, and it's not only you, it's everyone you actually see. And there's this beautiful story about this mother who lost his child at childbirth, and then he went to the Buddha. And devastating when you lose your child at childbirth. So devastated inside. So then she go around asking people, can you help, please do something. Then someone told me, oh, this guy, the Buddha, he's very famous, everyone talks about it. He's coming this way, Maybe you see him, maybe he can do something. And she say, oh yes, yes. So I wait for the Buddha. Buddha comes. Then she goes and please do something. My child died. What is Buddha going to do? Maybe if Buddha had Jesus' power, then but Buddha, like he said, I don't have these abilities. My only ability is to show you the truth. So Buddha told her, okay, I will help your child, but I need something in return. And she said, okay, anything, I'll give you my life. Anything you need, I can give. He said, no, I don't need your life. I just need a handful grain of rice from one of the households around here. Oh yeah, okay, that's easy. I go in. Then he said, but when you go and get a handful of rice, this handful of rice has to come from a household where no one has died. So she said, okay. So she went one household. She said, can I have a handful grain of rice? And oh yeah, of course. And he said, oh, okay, by the way, has anyone died in your household? Oh yeah, last year this died. Then no, I can't take your grain. So then she started one all over the village. Every household, someone died. Yeah, some mother died, some father died, some son died, some dog died, some cat died. So now you start to understand, the nature of birth is death. It's not just me losing. Everyone is losing, has lost something. Now, because everyone is in the same situation, then dealing with the situation also becomes easier. No, this is one of the truths. So this is how her mind was subdued. And then anyway, and then she came back to the Buddha and she said, okay, I understand what you are trying to teach me now. Yeah, the truth. Comes to terms with it. Well, come to terms with reality. So then he said, is there nothing I can do about this reality? Now you're asking the real question. Yeah, many things you can do. One of the first things, liberate yourself and others from this reality, that conventional reality that you have seen. I think this story quite amazing because you see it's not about power, it's not about magic, it's not about that. It's about reality, true existence in itself. Understanding that. And not just that, but understanding your ability to do something about it. How it works, how the conditioning works. And because how the conditioning works and the dependence on conditioning, the whole concept of dependent origination is on conditioning. Right? So now you understand, if I'm able to create the right conditioning, then I can make a huge change. Embracing that ability, no? So it's full freedom. Comes from your own choice, comes from your own understanding, comes on your own motivation, your own inspiration, your own method. There's no one judging there, oh yeah, you are right, you are this, you are not doing that right. No, it's your own ability that has the full potential. So awakening that potential, no? And that in that sense, basically what I'm trying to say is growing that circle is through understanding the true nature of dependent origination. Make sense? So far, good? So yeah, so so that is that. And then I think an important aspect of practice when it comes to integration. Now I think we go a little bit into the concept of letting go of oneself in regards to others. Yeah. So like I said, this morning different, now different. I'm saying two completely different things, but it's important in regards to the level of practice that we apply. Yeah. At certain points we need, when you need water, you need water. When you need food, you need food. Yeah, just because food is important doesn't mean when there's no water you just keep eating, food and food. You eat too much, then problem also. So learning to utilize the right amount of the right, what we say, concept. Yeah, learning to utilize the right concept at the right moment in order to move forward. So this is, I think, the important aspect. So when it comes to concept, first of all, generating, understanding your ability, then after that, utilizing your ability. But then again, when the ability, when you dependence on yourself, yeah, the dependence on yourself is good, but then when the dependence on yourself turns into pride, yeah, when the dependence on yourself turns into greed, now then you start to see this is again, this is why the cyclic, I think it's so easy to go into the samsaric cyclic existence. It's so easy because it's so easy to get lost in between that. Yeah, you think you're benefiting yourself, but then at the end of the day, if you start checking where this is coming from, if it's coming from genuine, sincere, unconditional care for yourself, then it's good. But if you see, oh, there's condition, because I'm getting something, I'm receiving something, I'm being nice because something is coming this way, now it's conditioned. Then genuine and sincere, now doubtable whether it's genuine or sincere. Now you start to see there is a problem. You're facing a problem there in regards to the practice of inspiring yourself as well. And this is why it's a little bit hard to truly differentiate. I mean, it's not hard if you know, like, you know your mind and you're working on that sense. But then if you go with unawareness, if you go inside, then it can be a little bit sort of like confusing. Yeah, some practitioner, they say, oh, Vajrayana practice, the tantric practice, so amazing, so good. So some people say, immediate enlightenment. With tantric practice you get enlightenment like this. So we hear this and we think, oh, that's the way. I like that, right? So tantra, you run the tantra. Then tantra is too harsh because it's for the very, very, what we say, accomplished minds, we say. Yeah, when you have learned to deal with everything that is thrown at you and you have built yourself enough, then tantra is useful. When the mind is weak and fragile and it gets hurt easily and that, then how are you going to use tantra? So this is the level that dependence of level that you need to initiate. And this one, no one, I think, I don't know anyone, because even Buddha himself says, one person cannot tell just by looking the ability of the other person, who you are, what you have experienced, where your mind is, what your mind is capable of. No one knows. So therefore, no one can tell you what to do. This is a self-discovery that we need. This is why the first part is always in discovering yourself. It's a self-discovery. It's a process of the path itself. It's a self-discovery path. Yeah, someone you say, oh, it's so amazing, so that, so this, oh, maybe whatever he say, I will do. Then he say, what is it? Ralu yang ne chomba koada. Samsara is like sheep and goat. You know the sheep and goat? Sheep and goats, when the head sheep jump off the cliff, then all the other sheep follow. This is what happens in the group, in the mountain goat, same thing. The mountain goat, they climb the mountains. So the most skilled one has to be in front because it has to show the path. But the skilled one does one wrong mistake, then the other ones follow. Whether it's a mistake or whether it doesn't mistake, they don't think, they just follow. I think they did, once they had this documentary, two ridge, yeah, then bunch of sheep, like a flock of sheep, they come like this. First sheep jump onto the other, not so far, but then when jump cross, this part broke off. Then even though the other sheep know that they cannot jump, they're still jumping all down like this. So this is so anyway, samsara, something like that. So you need to be very careful with in regards to, yeah, just because someone can handle it doesn't mean others can handle it. This is also in regards to it. Yeah. Yeah, so that is that. Then yeah, then we have the practice of initiating, right? Initiating. Now once you have built your ability to cope with the mindset, yeah, like I said, coping with certain mindsets takes ability, takes time, takes, you know, experience, takes or is it wisdom. Without wisdom, then cold, sit here, it's cold, don't sit cold floor. Yeah. No problem. Empty. Don't sit on cold floor. So our ability to perform is always based on our ability to understand and our ability to consider it. And this consideration, the first consideration, like I said, is yourself. Yeah. Then through that consideration, then the development of the consideration of others comes. So like I said, one thing important part when you try to understand the Bodhisattva's path, it's not about building resiliency, that this and, you know, cutting that and cutting this, and, you know, not about going to the extremes. It's about developing the logical side, the sensible side, and utilizing the logics on the sensible side to grow and expand your circle of inclusion. The more you're learning to grow the inclusion, then you're going deeper into the Bodhisattva path. So first step, Shinten to Zobe Changju, Shinten to for the benefit of others. Then Dzogchang Mingni aspire towards the liberation. Zobe Changju. Yeah, Zobe Changju is the what we say, the state of liberation where there's no more learning. The state of the liberation of no more learning is your ability. I think this makes a little bit, because it makes sense to me. I like to say the greatest artists in the world are those who create beautiful minds. Yeah. So your ability, you say you're a great artist, you're able to create a beautiful painting, there you're a very good artist, right? So your ability to create a beautiful mind is your art. If you are a mother and if you are able to craft a beautiful child, that is true, what do we say, true skill. And this is what the concept of the body, the true enlightenment is. Enlightenment is your ability to craft beautiful minds, a mind with no defaults, a mind so pure, so genuine, so sincere. And in order to do that, the mind, like I said, it's like, you know, you give a sculptor a block of wood, maybe rotten on one side, maybe scraped on the other side, maybe, you know, all kinds of, what do we say, what do you call it, all kinds of problems. Then you give a skillful sculptor that wood, then by the time the wood coming out of his shop, oh, beautiful art. He dealt with the rotten part, he deals with that, he deals with this, he cuts off all of those. Now you have an art. And this is, I think, this art is the art of creating beautiful mind, is the art of Dharma. So Zobe Changjola Ming, Zobe aspiring to be that artist where you have the ability to create beautiful minds so pure, no more delusion, no more destructive emotion, and so much wisdom where it has so much love and compassion where it can deal with any kind of mind. Our mind, even we say, oh, I'm kind, I'm practitioner, I'm Bodhisattva. Sometimes someone crazy, little bit, you know, crazy come, someone with a very, what do we say, challenging mind come, then we give up easily. Oh, I can't handle this person. Yeah, yeah. Forget about other people, even our parents sometimes. Our parents too much, too much. Then I need space. We run off. I need my own place. I cannot live. So even those you loved, those you care, those who look after you your whole life, care for you all life, even with those kinds of mind, we're unable to deal with. So your ability to deal with any kind of mind and be able to skillfully transform that mind, that is the true skill of, I think, what Dzogchen is. Dzogchen, the state of liberation is. So now you see, oh, that's what the state of liberation is. Is it something nice? Is it something you want? Because if you want, then you can work towards building that. Now, if you don't want, then forget about enlightenment. They're useless. But now you see the quality of that. Then you start to see, is achieving that kind of quality and aspiration that I have. Should I be aspiring to achieve that kind of quality? Does it make sense to achieve that kind of quality? Then even if I achieve that kind of quality, what am I going to do with it? This is Buddha's, after Buddha achieved enlightenment, that was his first thought. Yeah, I achieve enlightenment, but no one will understand me. Maybe I feel like I'll be the crazy one. They say, no, if there was a kingdom where everyone is insane and the king is sane, in reality, conventionally it will be the exact opposite. Right? The king will be the insane one. So something like that. No? So that, I think, similar concept. So I think this is the same thing. This is why the Buddha said, I'm not going to teach. And after he achieved enlightenment, first thing, I understand these things, but how am I going to convey to people? Yeah, I can't beat them to submission to convey to that. No, this is not the method. So how do I utilize? How do I provide? So there comes the combination of wisdom and method. Yeah. So within the practice of the bodhicitta, the what do we say, the two things coming together, wisdom and method coming together, is so important because of that. Because you need to build the ability. Once you achieve enlightenment, then you will have the ability to perform that, to deal with all kinds of different mindsets. And mindsets are going to come from all over the place. Some people are nice, some people are kind, some people are angry, some people are jealous, some people are that, some people are this. And this is just general. Then there are very special cases where people are actually come sort of insane, we call it, right? State of insanity. Out of anger, out of that, out of desire, out of they do all kinds of different unimaginable things. Killing thousands of people, from killing thousands of people to killing child to raping and so on and so forth. Insane minds. So the amount of minds that you need to deal with when it comes to inclusion is sort of a lot. So you definitely need to develop the ability to deal with every kind of mind. No? And this is why enlightenment is important. And then through that comes the inclusion. So then Tekjilamge Jugo is the key door to entering the Mahayana path. So now you're starting to understand what is so Maha about this Mahayana path. Yeah, what is so Maha means amazing, like wow. Yeah? Otherwise, no different from any other path. It's the inclusion, it's the building of that circle that is so maha. The willingness to deal with any kind of what do we say, rubbish thrown at you, that is so maha. So so yeah, so through, I think these are the more important aspects of the practice of bodhicitta. This is on a general term. Yeah, I think more detailed in regards to precise practices we can go later on, and tomorrow I think we have tomorrow also. Yeah, yeah, so tomorrow we can go more detail into that, but today just to give a just understanding of why, what, how, why, in what sense, and then the initial developing of the path itself. I think something like that. Enjoying? Bored? Okay. Am I putting too much pressure on you? Yeah. So, any questions?
You talked about. Yes. Yeah, you can talk. You talked about wanting the truth to be on the path. So, what is the source of the aspiration strong enough to want this truth, to renunciate?
So, this is, I think, what we talked about this morning. Without the truth, then the whole concept of whatever you're doing is on a conventional level, no? When you're doing something in your life, you want to do something meaningful, responsible, productive. A job, even a job we're doing, we want productive, right? Productiveness there. Even a food, we need deliciousness. Even sense, even your partner, you need someone that makes sense. If you have a partner that is meaningless. So practically, from a worldly perspective, in the sense that we are aware of, this is, I think, in regards to understanding where we are at. Yeah, when someone is wrong, we try very hard to, what we say, to correct them. Yeah, someone says, oh yeah, this is purple color. If I tell you this is purple color, then you try your best to correct. No, this is red. So even in our own sense, we need to understand what reality is in the concept that what we are doing makes sense. Without the concept of sense, then meaningless in some sense, no? What do we say? Each and every day flies by like the breeze going by, like the river flowing by. It just goes like this. And we say, oh, we're important, my time is important, my this is important, my that is important, my family is important. How many important things do you have in your life? Think about it. My house, my family, my money, my expenses, my dad, my this, my son, my kid, my mother, dad. So many things that are so important in your life. Then you say, is the importance the ultimate truth in that? You realize these things, you start to say, ah. So the sense in regards to reality, in regards to capturing what is there, is important, no? In that conceive. Now, if we say, I like to call it what we say, wandering souls in some sense. Yeah, they call it wandering souls. And don't care about anything, I don't care about anything, I don't care about that, I don't care about this, I have nothing that is important, I just live my life as it is, you know. They're like, in that sense, then in regards to importance, there's a whole level of importance that is completely different in that sense. But then on the basis of understanding it, you need the core existence, you know. So I think one way of looking at it, at the whole perspective, is trying to make sense of life itself. Second perspective is trying to make sense of the value of your existence. Why is my existence important? If I'm not so important, then why is the existence, my existence, so important? So that is also there. It's questionable. Then function. Function is based on reality, on truth. Dysfunction is also based on reality and truth. Like I said, cause and condition, karma, impermanence, continuity, these are senses, what do we say, sensible things that we work with each and every day of our life. We do things because of all the important aspects in our life to make sense through that, no? Four Noble Truths is the same thing. This is why I said we apply Four Noble Truths every single day. I'm coming from Kupan to here. Should I go by car? Should I go by bike? Oh, bike is cheaper. How do I find a way to go there? Oh, there's InDrive, there's Pathao, there's this, there's that. How do I make sense which is better? Maybe this one is faster. Maybe logic, constant logic. So another way of seeing this is you have the ability of the mind, the logic, the sense to make sense of things. If you're not utilizing it, then what's the use of it? Same as a person with great potential locked up inside a cage. Same thing. So it's about your potential also. If you have the potential, then why not? Unless you have a really good reason not to. And that is I think the whole process of logic. I think you need to see what is important to you. Make sense?
Shy people.
I have a question.
Yes.
So like in the very beginning, and you were just talking about this quite a bit too, but you were talking about like recognizing your potential and your value, right? And also how, like if you're going to reciprocate and help somebody or do things, you need to first see it in yourself, right?
Yeah.
And I think it can be difficult. So I'm just wondering how, I guess, what are ways you can do that? And I guess it's also sort of a philosophical debate. Like if you talk about value, it can say, oh, like I contribute to my community, or I go to this job, or I do certain things. Or I remember I was having this debate with some people, and we like Buddhism and like monks came up. And we say, oh, well, like here's this. Typically, I think a lot of times in the world we live in, the value is demonstrated by like a wealth accumulation or a job
Performance.
or like exactly. So it can be kind of a challenging thing, I guess, to sort of feel that. And then also when you're talking about sort of if you have these things to like share and to give people, that could also be sort of difficult because I think more now than ever, like with the technology and everything, we're so bombarded and overwhelmed with information. I can feel like, oh, like there's just too much already, like
Yes.
it's like taking an eyedropper into the ocean. Like, what? It's not going to make any, it's hard not to feel like that way sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. It definitely makes sense. So just like you said, too much information, too many things, life is complicated. Now I have to worry about child, I need to worry about my insurance, I need to health, I need to work, finance, that this, you already have too much in your hands. So when you have too much in your hands, what do? Take a step back, no? Yeah, too much in your mind, you go and relax. True or not? That's how we cope. Too much to function around you, too much sound all over the place. What do? You go to a quiet place. So I think all of these different things coming up here, they're very, very conventional, because definitely it helps us with our life. Like I said, I like to say, even our life, in, I don't know, past 1,000 years, the lifespan has maybe more than 1,000 years, I don't know, but the lifespan has increased because of our awareness in regards to health, in regards to taking care of ourselves, in regards to security, all of that. So this is definitely there's benefit in both sides. Now when it comes to contribution, again, there's different ways of looking at contribution also. Contribution to this life is one aspect of it. Normally we're thinking about this life. Oh yeah, technology, science, this, that is always all considered to this life. It's not that without technology we couldn't live. I mean, people lived, animals live. A tiger survives. Wolves survive in the jungle, in the freezing cold. This is our nature. Our body itself is like that. Our body, compared to what it used to be, has mutated so much. It has changed based on the conditions that we are in. Now we need clothes, we need to wear. Before we had hair. Changing like that. No? So conditions based on the existence, based on all of that, it changes. Yeah, now we used to roam around in the sun all day, no problem. And now, because we have been so used to sitting inside, now we need sunscreens and that and this. Conditions changing things. But there's momentary change now. Whether liberation, like I said, true concept of continuity. So this is why this morning I talked about impermanence, because through impermanence you start to understand what is truly there. I create a what do we say, in the 80s, 70s, the fashion world is different from the fashion world that is now here now. So if I was 80 years ago, if I was a fashion designer and I think, to protect the sun, we need to make this cowboy hat, And at those days, everyone said, oh, everyone needs cowboy hat. Without cowboy hat, it's very hard to exist. But now, no one wearing that. So the changing already there. No? So the implementation of momentary changes happens, goes, happens, goes, happens, goes. Yeah. In regards to contribution, again, another thing in regards to contribution, I think it's sense, right? People only contribute when it makes sense. I say, I contribute to my my family because that's sensible. That's a sensible thing to do. Now, if you look a little bit deeper into the whole perspective, like I said, without the concept of impermanence, it's impossible. Okay, so we talk about impermanence. This cup here is impermanent, and therefore it is a cause, therefore it's an effect, therefore it's continuity, therefore it's karma, therefore it's all of these things. So now the continuity of this cup is going to be as good as I understand it to be. Beyond that is not in my ability. So if I'm making a cup, then first thing I'll think is, like I said, permanence, right? I'll make it as strong as I want. Right? Just like the example I gave this morning. I want to make, so I'm going to think, glass maybe not so permanent. Make it permanent. Yeah, make it metal. Then maybe I think brass or something like that. But then brass easily decays in the sun and with the rain and that. This is why in the olden days the kings and they used to have silver and gold utensils, because gold doesn't change. The what we say, the gold, the what do we say, the formula of the gold. No matter how much you mix with things, it doesn't change. It still stays as gold. So there's a concept of permanence in there. No? So our ability to contribute to what is existent in front of us based on the continuity of it is dependent on our skills. If I do not have the skill, I will not be able to contribute. So these are all external things. Forget about these things. Let's look at internal. You have a good life. A lot of rich people I know, they have good life, good money saved up in their bank, good family, good house, plenty of cars. Now we think about the happiness level. So success doesn't equal to happiness. This is very clear. You can be successful, but then still wandering in samsara, wondering where did I go wrong, what did I not do. Then you have another whole level of understanding is dependence. We depend so much on others' perspective. What is the perspective? Others' concept, others' view. I need to look good so that I can look good to other people. I need to do this. I need to wear a good gold watch so that I can show off. How do I look? How much of the things that we do to take care of ourselves we are actually doing for ourselves is questionable. No, really think about it. It's questionable. Are you taking care of yourself? Yes, I'm taking care of myself. But for who? And this is why the level of happiness does not seem to matter so much in the external world that we are in. If you go to work, do they ask you what is your requirements in regards to your happiness? How much happy you'll be? No, that is not considered at all. Happiness is measured in the sense of now is measured in the sense of money in some sense. I think people think, oh, the more money, the more happiness. This is a very modern concept that comes into existence, I think, nowadays. I also say the same thing, now in our times when I was up in Kupan, it was not about money at all. It was about basic accommodation. Yeah, we needed a room. We didn't care about whether the water was hot or cold. We didn't have hot water, cold water at that time. We went to Dara. You remember Dara down there? Yeah, in the winter when they shave our head, we had to wash our whole body in the cold water. But that was good enough. That was satisfying. They're happy, no problem. So there was a time when basic necessity was enough to fulfill our level of happiness in some ways. But now it's not that. Now it's money. Without money, you can't do anything. In those days, 100 rupees, we come to Bodha, we eat 2 plates of momo, go around Bodha, travel, and then go back, and it was still enough. So the concept is changing based on and this is why I said, influence is such a big thing that happens around the world that is changing our constant existence here and there. You cannot measure anything nowadays. In the olden days, there was value in money as well because it was valued in gold. There used to be gold coins. Now that also cannot value. Now it's all about loan. It's changed the whole concept of value of the money. This is why inflation is skyrocketing every year. So anyway, take all of those things out. Measure your sanity level. That's what I call, sanity level. Sanity level?
Difficult to measure, yes.
Sanity level, we say. state of the mind. What do you call that? Sanity level.
Yeah.
Yeah. So measure your sanity level. See where peace is at. When you are feeding a dog, look at your mind. Is it worried about 10 things? Or is it happy in the state that it is? Or when you are in front of the computer working like this, trying to make money. Same thing. Look at your mind, the sanity level. Is it at peace? So now the concept of bringing balance is important, like I said. Too much of this insanity, then the mind is going to be affected in such a major way. Yeah? People jumping off bridges, people killing each other, people doing that, people doing this, people taking drugs constantly in trying to delude their mind, drinking. Where does all of this come from? Is because the level of sanity is not measured. Because we give too much what do we say, importance in the validation, external validation that the corporate world or whatever you want to call has implemented. So we say, yeah, you are happy in this, yeah, you have a good family, house, your car, good car, so that you can show off to people, then you will be happy. This is the whole selling thing. No? We say, what is it? Advertisement. You look each and every advertisement on the TV, they make you think, without this, you won't be happy. Yeah, with this you'll be happy. Same thing with the phone. Yeah, new phone comes out, you look at the advertisement. And they look at the old phone not working, this not there, not all these functions are not there. Oh, the new phone has everything. Now you'll be happy. And therefore, there you go, you buy. This is all an illusion, no? In some sense, you think about it, it's all an illusion. Really look at it from, like I said, from the sanity and insanity level, you'll start to see it's an illusion. But we look from a very, very, what do we say? What is the word?
We can take the word after lunch.
Yeah, lunchtime?
Yeah. Then you have time to remember.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, lunchtime. Something like that, I think. If it makes sense, yeah.
Would the word short-sighted work for what you're saying?
No, I think influence. Influence. The mental aspect of influence is converted by the perception that, interesting thing, we say cognize, recognize. Our ability to see something, observe it, understand it. It's cognition. This is the whole function of the mind, cognition. Yeah? So, when you see something, first time you see it, you just cognize as a normal thing. I show you a stone, a round stone. I show you like this. First cognition, oh, stone, right? But then I explain, oh, this stone came from outer space. Now the value of the cognition different now. Now you say, oh, not just a stone from outer space. Then I say, I bought it for $4 million. Oh, now again cognition changing again. This is all illusion in that part, no? It's the cognizing part and the value and the information that comes with the cognition part that gives the value in things. So now the mind functioning based on the cognition and the value that it's given. So therefore, what we see is based on influence, basically on influence. True reality has nothing to do with influence, okay? It's like I said, it's about cognizing the state of itself. Tomorrow we'll go a little bit deeper into Thandam Dempa, Kunjo Dempa, conventional reality and ultimate reality. We start to see, okay, how is it different? How is it same? Yeah, okay, lunchtime. Okay.
1 hour break.